Hello YouTube, and this is more of a lighthearted video, as this is what I was talking about earlier, that I'm finally back into Minecraft, and it's not even for the game, it's for the lore. So, starting off with Music Disc 5 on the newest track. I don't know how well you can hear it, but and that's the end of the music disc. Now let me explain to you what I think is actually going on here, as I might have already figured it out. So, 1. When you look at the actual portal, you'll notice that there is a shit ton of candles there. And the very first few things that you hear in this disc is one man igniting a portal before an entire army behind him starts to blare their war horns before entering the portal. Once they enter the portal, they begin to take severe losses because they didn't take acknowledgement of what was on the other side. And the reason why they built this portal in the first place is because, again, this ancient tribe of builders was both experimenting with the dead and stuff like that. So when they accidentally built the Nether, they had to build something that was indestructible, but capable of being able to take them to anywhere at any time that they needed to be in. Unfortunately for them, they didn't know what kind of materials they were making this portal out of, which ended up causing them to go to a relatively parallel dimension that is severely diseased. Skulk, in this game, I believe is a disease. Now, one of the things that I want to mention is throughout the entire music disc, then you hear that music sequence play that sounds very peaceful and beautiful, and after you hear the army march, you hear this small part, like I said, peaceful and beautiful, right? No. It's the realization of the commander of that entire army realizing that this is the last time he's going to be alive and the last time the civilians of this ancient city is going to be able to see anything. Now, I'll explain to you why I believe Skulk is a disease. So, if you look at the portal, underneath the portal, there is the only spot of actual grass blocks, and it has not been touched by any Skulk, and the only block of Skulk next to those blocks is about 15 feet away. or blocks away, and it's inside of another room, waterlogged. I believe in the lore of Minecraft right now, waterlogging Skulk will stop it from spreading onto grass. So, basically, what Skulk is a virus that takes over living things and turns it into dead and rotting. So, how I know any of this? Well, I guess you have to re-listen to the same song over and over and over again. So, thank you to IBX Toycat, aka Andrew Andrews, which is the channel, his third channel that I'm actually watching this on, because that's where he uploaded this. Now, right there, during that beginning sequence, they enter the portal, and the commander realizes that he has no idea what's on the other side of it, so when he actually goes into the portal, and his expectancy is not met, not only is he not surprised, he realizes that he doomed his entire culture. And those soldiers, they all got picked off one by the warden, and individual monsters just like it. Again, if you listen to the song closely, and you listen to the entire music disc, not only will you hear screams of human beings and creatures, but here in a little bit, you start to hear the whispers of all the dead ones that are talking to the commander during his last few seconds of being alive. The reason why there are so many candles placed around in front of the portal is because that was the last time those civilians got to see any of those soldiers. So they moved from the area after it started getting invaded by these Skulk and all of this warden attacks. Dun, dun. And now into the lava part. Here in a second, you're going to hear a glass breaking sound, which I'm assuming is him throwing down a splash potion of fire resistance. The only reason why I assume that right now is due to the fact that that's what's going to take to get an entire group with at least 30 seconds of fire resistance. And if everybody is equipped with it, then guess what? Everybody's fire resistant. Except as he opens up the pages to be able to, start writing everything that's happening down, he starts to realize that the book most likely is not even going to be found. Which is part of the reason why you find shards of this music disc instead of the entire piece. Now right there, you heard a tiny whisper. You heard a bunch of S syllables. But the sad thing is, I don't have my phone that's able to handle a spectrogram. So if any of you guys have a computer, please run the audio file of Music Disc 5 underneath a spectrogram. If you don't know, C418, when he created Music Disc 13 and 11, I'm pretty sure Music Disc 11 has Steve's face written in a spectrogram. Not written, but drawn by the noise. And for the other one, Music Disc 11, there is a creeper face. Now this one, I'm pretty sure, is not only going to tell you an entire passage, but is going to give you lore-based backstory on what the hell actually happened to these people. Because there was people still alive. Clearly, there's candles all over the place in this location, but during the only entrance to the portal, which proves that these soldiers who went in there all went extinguished. None of them made it out alive. Not even the captain. So as he goes back through the portal, he didn't realize that he was being chased by something. He even tried to make sure that he wasn't being chased by something, which didn't go very successful. And those things that you're hearing are footsteps. Not explosions. I thought they were explosions at first too. But it's larger than the Warden. What is attacking these people? It's not in the game yet. Right now, you're gonna hear a bunch of talking and whispers. That sounds like absolute gibberish and nonsense. But as soon as you run it through a spectrogram, rewind the image and slow it up, or rewind the song, you're probably gonna hear the voices talking. And that right there is the Warden that ended up killing the chieftain or commander of this group. Not only death, but I'm 90% sure they eat your souls too. Now, I want you to take a close look at the entire atmosphere around this location. I'm going to mute the video now as you basically heard everything inside of the video plus the explanation for what's going on behind it. Right there is all the candles for the dead ones, and there's at least 40 of them. One for each individual person. There's probably the same Warden that ended up killing the guy. I mean, look at that chest. I'm still wondering if it eats the souls of the person as well. Now, this is the only area that you get entrance to the portal. Now, if I speed up the footage, you'll notice that the entire area around here is specifically covered, and I mean covered in skulk. And in here is what I was talking about. This is the only location with grass that has not been affected or even infected. He only showed you a splintilla of what's in there, but they were the most redstone advanced tribe as well, but I don't know who these people are. I'm assuming they're the same ancient builders who built the Wither on accident and ended up dying from it. Now again, if you look around, look how much skulk is here. Imagine if everything here was stone instead of skulk. The stone is even being infested. It is a virus. And that is the end of the video. Now, the reason why I'm making this video in the first place is to say thank you, Mojang, but also, I kind of don't like what you did with erasing Notch's history from Minecraft whatsoever. It didn't happen, but you guys are actively trying to do so. So, that's just sad. I mean, let him have another chance, dudes. He's living in a multi-million-dollar mansion alone, which sounds good, but he's incredibly depressed and he's got a lot of psychological problems now because he doesn't feel like he's able to contribute too much because all he's doing is sitting there satisfied, when it's not really even satisfaction anymore. However, that's a different story. So basically, after that entire video, I've listened to that same audio file hundreds of times. But the thing is, I definitely could be wrong. However, I think Mojang might end up actually agreeing with what I'm saying about what's going on in the video because of the way the entire location is set up where the video and the location is taking place. You have to find shards of that music disc. And then you have to put all of them together, And then you have to do it from there. But that's the thing. Why? Why is the music disc shattered? Because I don't think the warden can't eat living things. And a disc is not living. So yes, did it get crunched up into pieces? Absolutely. And that's probably the main reason why you have to hunt for the pieces and craft the shards for it. I think if you craft them, not that. You have to craft the disc from finding the shards, I think is the case. Now, I'm not really gonna play Minecraft that much in the new version, as the entire reason why I like the new versions of Minecraft is different than most people. I can't really play it and enjoy it anymore. However, I definitely am one of the people to throw on creative mode and start looking for all the lore in the game. So, I'm kind of at that point. Survival's just never really changed. And now that the shield takes up most of your screen and shit like that, and the game feels much different than it used to, it doesn't feel Minecraft. But I digress. If you even look at the location that this is in, it's a fort. It's entirely a fort. And, well, why would you need a fort around a portal if you didn't know that the possibility of what was on the other side of the portal could be horrible? They already were pre-planning. Now, IBX thinks that these might be the same people as the pillagers, because they use a lot of dark oak wood. I'm thinking that's a placeholder object, or a placeholder wood for what they want, and if it's not, and that's actually lore-based, then I think it's a possibility, but I don't think it actually matches up well. Now, my question is, what if you try to ignite the portal yourself once you find it? Especially one that is entirely fixed, unlike the video that we were just watching. I've got some questions. However, I don't think that dimension and shit like that has been implemented at all. So that'll be basically it for today's video, as there's nothing really much more to add on, considering I've already talked about basically everything that is on the disc. So there's definitely two more things. You need to spectrogram, and you need to reverse the footage. Or not the footage, but the sounds. Not only are you going to get a full sentence, but you are going to get a picture. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure the picture is going to show you what killed everything there. Now, the civilians that used to live in that location, after watching the soldiers not come back besides the commander who ended up just running past all of them, yeah, they had left. They paid their respects with their candles, and they paid their tributes, and they all decided to leave. And hundreds upon thousands of years later, the entire location is covered in skulk. And as I said previously, skulk is a disease. It's the reason why it spreads on the stone. It's the reason why it spreads on the grass. It's the reason why it spreads onto basically everything in the game that you put it next to. So, next time you play Minecraft, just consider the fact that it's becoming a horror game. Just without the blood and gore. Alright, so that's basically it for today's video. If you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Tell me in the comment section below what you think about it, and may you find peace in the domain.